there's that massively. If you look from here,
Okay.
be careful. See that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much from the valve covers. Everything down.
Okay.
It's on both sides. So that thing is.
And you'd have to take the valve covers off to
Valve
actually get to
cover.
the valves and everything, right?
Exactly.
So if those valves went to a machine shop, they had.
Well, they removed the head. They have to remove the head.
Okay.
For that.
So those valves should have been
The
replaced.
valve cover should be off.
Okay.
You know, so
And the head gaskets are different, correct?
from side to side.
So I'm just saying, if somebody said I replaced the head gaskets, that's not the same thing, right?
Head gasket is different than valve cover.
Okay.
So valve cover is just the cover on the top.
Okay.
Head gaskets is between the block and the head.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, this one is the same thing. This one has a leak over
Okay.
here. It's a little less than the other side, but they're both leaking.
Yep. Okay. So both valve covers leaking. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff which is not really attached, but it should be attached, in my opinion.
That's the stuff I want to see. Yep.
From the factory.
And there's drip pans that are missing, correct too?
Drip pans, yeah. There's no belly pans at
No
all.
drip pans, and then the top engine cover is missing,
Top
correct?
engine cover was also missing.
Okay, so that's not attached. Okay. And so the timing belt was not attached properly, or wasn't installed properly.
It's a one tooth off.
One tooth off. Okay.
And
Is that correct?
I mean,
That
one tooth off, it's still gonna make it run.
yeah.
Decent,
Do
but,
they self-adjust? Okay. So
it has to be adjusted properly. You set the cam, you set the crankshaft, lock them in a position, and put the timing belt on. You have to correctly adjust the timing tensioner. They should be off. There is
Gotcha.
no self-adjusting.
no self-adjust. Okay. And then also, is it detrimental to run it when it's not aligned? Is it detrimental to the engine to run it?
I mean, it's not going to hurt in this position point. I mean, there's a plenty of room.
Yeah.
If it's more than one or two, that's possible.
Possible. Okay. Because I first talked to Fee, she said it's a possibility that the
Well, I told her that I wouldn't drive it too much because
Gotcha.
we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. First, my opinion was when it scanned it, it's saying it's off the camshaft.
Yeah.
The camshaft with the crankshaft doesn't match.
okay.
That's why I told her, you know, you have to make the choice. It's your
Right.
car.
Yep.
What do you want to do?
Yep.
You know, at this point, we don't charge you anything. Just make the choice. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Also, there's an issue with this. Every tap for the ignition coil on this side is broken. The wiring. This side, it's not damaged. It has a few taps on loose,
Okay.
but not like the other side.
Okay. That's the stuff I definitely want to see. Gotcha. Okay.
At this point, I would definitely recommend fix the oil leaks
Okay.
because you put new belt on and it's going to happen again.
Gotcha. Okay. So new fix the leaks, then put a new belt because
And, it's possibly that's why your other belt broke, because maybe there was a little leak. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
say.
well, what was
But when you're saying the car never leak oil, I mean,
yeah it never
I can't
leaked.
be the judge. I didn't see
No,
it.
yeah, it never leaked. I never thought it leaked oil, but I think if somebody would have taken this apart, they would have said, "Hey, you're leaking oil. That's why your belt is," or like
That
they'd
would
be able to
the
see it.
proper way, yes.
Right. It was changed. Nothing was ever mentioned about any of that stuff, and was given back and supposed to be in working order, and it was running horribly. And then I asked about it and said, "Oh, it will self-adjust," is what they told me.
Well,
So I could have just kept running and hoping it was going to get better. Leaked all the oil out, caused some serious damage, I guess. Okay. So the recommendation right now is obviously, so the timing belt's bad now.
well, the timing belt is it's soaked with oil,
Soaked with oil, okay.
and it shouldn't be.
Right.
And we should take out the oil leaks.
Yeah.
That definitely needs to be done first. Another thing is, I noticed one thing over here. Let me turn the engine. One of the wheels side, the lip on this wheel, it's bent, and actually
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like it was pried on this thing. It shouldn't be. And there's one that actually which one's
Oh, I
a little
see.
worse over
Yeah, I
here
see
on
that.
this side.
Oh, damn.
That has to be straight because he is driving
Rubbing on the
belt,
belt. Right.
and grinding the belt, and also
And that's definitely a sign of somebody prying on it. It's not like.
it's not effective. And also touching the wheel of the
Oh, damn.
other one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that. So it's touching the belt and the wheel. Okay. Okay.
So that's about pretty much it.
Yeah.
And again, you have to make the decision on what you want to do.
So at this point, so valve covers, and then these, you said these two pieces here need to be replaced, is that correct?
There are little plugs here.
Okay.
Rubber O-rings that need to be replaced.
Okay.
Every single time you pop them out for loosening the sprockets, you have to put new seals.
Okay,
on
have to put
because
new
they
seals
will
on.
leak.
Okay, gotcha.
100%. And there are seals behind on the head between the gear and a head. They need to be fixed too.
So here's a question for you. So if I was to bring this in and say, okay, I need the timing belt change. My car died. Timing belt needs to be replaced, obviously. Would you guys replace all those seals and everything as part of that, what you're doing?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's leaking, we definitely, yeah.
Right.
There would be one of the recommendations. We wouldn't put it back together.
Gotcha. If it was not leaking, though, it's not
It
something.
was not leaking. I mean, we definitely replace these two plugs.
Gotcha. You definitely
have to.
replace those. Okay.
You have to replace
Have to
it.
replace those. Okay.
Whatever we have on part, and we have to take the O-ring out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would be put with new
Okay.
O-ring out.
So anything that's like a necessary, if you're pulling something apart and it's got a seal, you got to
Just
redo
like
it.
the valve cover bolts. These bolts, they have a grommets on them. Rubber
Gotcha.
grommets. And if you don't replace the grommets, it's exactly what's happening. They're leaking down here.
Okay.
And if you don't replace the gasket is there 90,000 miles. And when you put new one in, you know, it's if you compare the new one with the old one is collapsed.
Yeah.
The heat and then
Yeah.
they compressed with the valve cover.
Gotcha.
So you definitely want to replace it.
Yeah.
And again, you know, if you don't, yeah, that you know, we have a possibility to leak in ignition coils area or something like that.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I think the main concern was that, I mean, it was admitted a few times that they didn't know exactly what they were doing once they got into it. And they were looking on the Audi, I don't know if there's like an Audi site where you can log in and get assistance with things. And they were trying to piece it together. So, okay. Yeah, okay. And then as far as you see this right now, I mean, is there any, do you have to get, when you replace the timing belt, what's the next step, I guess? Do you have to take it further apart?
Oh, I have to take the valve covers off.
Okay.
To lock the cams. I just stop in this point where
Yeah.
you see. And
Yeah.
I told Kevin to come here and
Yeah.
you see what's going on and make the decision.
Okay.
As far as now, I just have to put it back in the timing. And when I put it in the timing, I would definitely recommend the seals.
Okay. Yep.
Take the seals out.
Yeah.
Replace this thing. The crank seal, again, same thing. It's a lot of oil underneath. And again, it's a pretty big job.
Yeah.
And if you're doing this thing, there's an oil leak somewhere, you better replace all of them.
Gotcha. So is this something like if you guys fired this up and it was leaking, you would be able to tell right away, wouldn't you?
Well, it's leaking pretty good.
Right.
And,
That's what I think too.
This
Yeah.
thing's sitting here and
Yeah.
the last half an hour left this thing
Yeah.
on the floor. And,
I mean, I have a puddle on the overnight in front of my
I don't
house.
really like puddle like this.
Yeah. So when you do the time belt and everything, do you take more of the car apart?
Oh, I mean, I think the valve cover is just like
So you'd leave it right now. You wouldn't necessarily need to take anything else. You don't need to take the wheels off.
No, you don't have to necessarily take
Okay.
the wheels off.
When my dad went and saw the car, everything was off. Wheels,
Well,
fenders, radiator,
I mean,
everything.
that thing, fenders, no.
Or not fenders, but the wheels were off.
I mean, it's how they feel comfortable. But,
Gotcha, okay.
I mean, you don't have to take the wheels off.
Gotcha. Okay.
This thing will go off too.
Okay.
But also, I point one thing. The fender, I don't know how it was lining before. I mean, this car was in the body shop before resprayed, for sure.
It's what?
It was resprayed before the front bumper.
Oh yeah.
And that's old. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not something that happened recently. But it was attached only on one bolt on each side.
Okay.
You're supposed to have 6 bolts together.
Gotcha. So it was missing
And
2 on each side.
Missing 4. I mean, 2
Missing
on
4.
each side.
Yeah, 4 bolts missed on the front. Okay.
And then it just bolts. It's a special cap. This one is actually stripped inside. It just stuck.
Oh,
in.
got right, yeah. Right.
Happened. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be corrected and to be properly installed. And,
Yeah.
And definitely the wall part needs to go up because I have to put the lock and tool and.
So I guess the next thing is that because I know when the timing belt actually physically goes out, you have to look at the valves. Okay, is that necessary at this point to look at the valves to make sure they're not further damaged, or is that not even a concern?
If there is a damage, I would have a more different hole codes.
Okay.
For this fire probably.
Okay.
I wouldn't bother with that.
Gotcha. Okay. And you probably once you get it going
if
again.
you want to feel safe, we can check the compression
Okay.
on every cylinder. Just to look with the compression.
Yeah.
If the compression is fine, you shouldn't be worried about it.
Okay. And you would also know more once you got it back together, ran it. You would be able to tell if there were more.
Yeah. Hopefully there is nothing else.
Right.
Something because right now, until we correct the timing,
we don't know.
no, we don't know. But how long you drive this car since you got it from the shop?
I literally drove it. Got it in Newburgh, drove it back to my house in Southeast, so it's like maybe 25 miles or something like that. Then drove down to the store real quick and back because I had to. We don't have another car. So, did that and then drove it here. That was the only time I drove it. So I didn't feel comfortable. When I picked up the car, I didn't feel comfortable. So, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so I just need to maybe find out what that kind of all entails as far as costs to do all that, do what you're recommending to get it running.
It's going to be something a little bit on top of the what fee.
Okay.
It's going to be just mainly take the gears off, replace the seals.
Okay.
And I would recommend pressure wash the car, clean the engine, and drive it. We'll see if there's something hidden somewhere.
Yeah, because I know the O2 sensor had come up before, but they had mentioned that might be caused by these other issues.
Well, O2 sensor, there was I think fault for it. If I remember right. Yeah, there was a heater for O2 sensor, but again, it could be related to this thing because the sensors don't line up, and that means the car doesn't run very well. So.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. So I'll just figure out what those final little pieces are, and then what I need to do is just talk to a few people that are involved. Obviously, I got to talk to the guy that worked on this originally, because he was trying to tell me that you just had to run the computer over it and it would be fine. Basically, I don't think he wanted us to look. I don't think he wanted us to look inside. Is what I don't think he wanted.
There is no electronic adjustment.
Right. And the fact that the belt is off one tooth and it's saturated in oil doesn't do us any good. Okay. All right. Anything else you can think of?
That's about it.
Okay. Well, Roman, thank you very much. I appreciate letting me kind of go through that too.
That's enough.
Dude, tell me about it. This has been going on. I'm going to my 3rd month on this. They had it for 2 months. So.